Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Respected Director, Professor Sunil Kumar, his esteemed colleagues, faculty members, dignitaries on the dais, distinguished guests, and dear students. The slogan that I recited just now is the first slogan of Viveka Chudamani, the last composition of Sri Shankaracharya, the greatest son of Kerala. I particularly chose this slogan because this is an educational institution where teachers impart knowledge to the Sishyas, to the students. And this brings out the necessity for giving respect to the teachers. Whatever we gain is all obtained by our teachers. This particular aspect I wanted to emphasize in this institution, which is the only IIT of Kerala state. This institution is still in the very infant stage, just completing 5 years of existence, but a lot of things have been done. And I must congratulate Professor Sunil Kumar for organizing this IIT in a very exemplary manner. I'm sure this will, in the years to come, will occupy the commanding heights of technical education imparting. I'm extremely grateful to Professor Sunil Kumar and his team for inviting me on this occasion when the institute is celebrating its 4th Institute Day. Being the chief guest on this occasion, I consider it as a great honor and a recognition. I've been wanting to come to the institution earlier occasions also, but somehow it was not possible. Now I think the credit should go particularly to Undi Madhavan, who was an earlier colleague of mine on the railways, to get me over here. I'm not going to speak to you on a particular academic subject, but I thought on this occasion it'd be appropriate for me to share with you of my own ideas or what are the qualities that engineers and scientists should have. During my last 67 years of professional life, I had opportunities to handle a large number of projects, and I have learned a lot of experience, a lot of lessons in handling these projects. And I thought I would share with you all the qualities that are required or the qualities which enable me to come to my present position from just a graduate civil engineer. These qualities I wanted to particularly emphasize on this occasion because we are all budding engineers, budding scientists, and will be coming out shortly from the portals of this prestigious institution, and will be required to handle many of the problems of the country. How you will be tackling them. Therefore, today I'll be dwelling on those essential qualities which engineers and scientists should have to make our country one of the best in the world. These qualities in a nutshell are, very nutshell, very shortly I'm telling you. First and foremost, integrity. When I mention integrity, it is not just honesty or just absence of corruption. It is something more than that. If you take up the Oxford Dictionary and see the meaning of integrity, it says having good moral values. This is the essence of integrity. In our profession, in the profession of engineer particularly, you will find there will be very many temptations. And then how do you resist these temptations? Unless you have a high degree of integrity in you. According to me, this integrity is the most important virtue which any engineer or scientist should have. And this quality you have to develop early in your career. In fact, we should establish a reputation for integrity right from the beginning. As I mentioned to you, the profession is such, there will be very many temptations. You should not succumb to these temptations. Just see my own example. I retired from the railways about 30 years back. And after retirement only, most of the important projects I have taken up in this country under my leadership. Most important being the Konkan Railway, Delhi Metro, many other metros, and very many assignments. Why did the government entrust me with thousands and crores of rupees to a retired person to execute this project? Dear students, it's only because of the reputation I established right from early years as a very honest and a competent person. This is the first thing that any engineer should have, integrity. Before you leave this hall, I would like you all to take a pledge within yourself, saying that for the rest of your professional life, you will be a very honest person, and nobody will at any time doubt your integrity. The second important thing is punctuality in our profession. I was so happy when I saw the proceedings of this day started on time. Dear students, punctuality means not a minute early or a minute late. In our profession, you find that punctuality has a great role in whatever we do, whether in your research, whether executing a project, but delivering good, anything that you do, punctuality is very important. In fact, I learned this habit of being very punctual when I was a student in the engineering college way back in early 1950s. We had a professor, Professor Sitapati, who was so meticulous about punctuality. It is no exaggeration when I say he used to come to the class for giving lecture, and if the class is at 11:15, he will wait outside on the veranda till 11:15 and enter promptly at 11:15, and after the lecture is over, exactly at the end of the 45 minutes of lecture, he will leave the hall. He was insistent that not only in the classes, but even outside the classes, whatever you do, even in social functions, he gave great emphasis to punctuality. And dear students, I think it was this fastidiousness for punctuality which enabled me to complete the Konkan Railway project, such a huge railway project, 760 kilometers long, along the west coast of India, through one of the most difficult terrains ever encountered in the history of railway construction in our country, which, when I mentioned to you the various aspects of the project, you will understand how difficult it was. For constructing this Konkan Railway, as many as 93 tunnels for a total length of 83.5 kilometers had to be bored through some of the most vicious soil conditions around the west coast. And there were 157 major bridges. The longest bridge was more than 2 kilometers in length across Sharavdi River in Karwar district. The tunnels also, the longest tunnel was 6.5 kilometers, and there are 9 tunnels more than 3 kilometers in length. And the biggest challenge on Konkan Railway was raising the money for the project. Usually, for any railway project, the capital cost involved is given by the government as grants through the railway budget. But for Konkan Railway, the government agreed to give only 1/3 of the cost of the project, and 2/3 we had to raise from the market. But how was that? With all these difficult terrains, paucity of funds, we were able to complete the project exactly within 7 years as originally envisaged. Similarly, the Delhi Metro project, all these things, the emphasis was punctuality, means adhering to the time correctly. This is very essential in our profession, being very, very punctual. And you'll find the fallout of this emphasis on punctuality in many areas. For example, Delhi Metro. Today, it covers about 390 kilometers. And about 6,000 trains are operated every day on this line, Delhi Metro. World over, the punctuality of metro trains is counted as 3 minutes. The least count is 3 minutes. Whereas in Delhi Metro, because of our emphasis on punctuality, we decided that the least count for punctuality will be 60 seconds. That means if a train is late by more than 60 seconds, it has lost punctuality. With this emphasis and the realization that if our trains have to be punctual, we have to be punctual ourselves first. Everybody was so punctual. And you'll be surprised to know the punctuality performance of Delhi metro trains. It is 99.97%. How was it possible to achieve this? Because of the awareness on punctuality. During the construction stage also, to complete each segment of the work on time, we used to have a device, what is known as a reverse clock. A clock which will show the number of days for completing a particular tunnel or a particular bridge. Each day the clock will lose 1 day. So this reverse clock used to be a constant reminder to everyone, engineers, contractors, suppliers, that only so many days are left and we have to complete the project on time. This only enabled us to complete all the projects of Delhi Metro on time or before time. So this emphasis on punctuality in our engineering profession is very important. The third thing is professional competence. We must know our work very well. You are all here in this institute. IIT is a very unique concept, I should say. The students are inducted through a very strict screening process, the JEE. With the result, we get the best talents of the country into the IITs. And we get people from all parts of the country. Here is all IITs represent a mini India, I would say, where unity in diversity is so visible. And you are all very lucky, very fortunate to have got this opportunity to come and join an institution of this type. Having got this opportunity, you should make use of the best use of your stay here. Master the subject exceedingly well. Of course, our education does not stop within the 4 years or 5 years of staying in an institution like this. For an engineer or scientist, education is a lifelong pursuit. Even if you come out, you must start learning. There are every opportunity, so many cases where you can learn many things at all the time. You must understand, knowledge is strength. Our Shastras say, Jnanena sadrisham pavitram ihana vidyade, it says. This is a quotation from Bhagavad-Gita. There is nothing so sacred as knowledge. Wherever you are posted, whatever work you take up, you must make it a point to know it very, very well. Master this subject very well. If you know your work or your duties or what you are assigned to do very well, that gives you such a lot of confidence, such a lot of self-assurance, confidence to take decisions fast and do things in a perfect way. Knowledge is strength, that you must understand. And everybody respects knowledge. And knowledge is something which nobody can steal from you. You can only go on enriching it. So make this as a principle, as one of your ideals, to see that whatever be the opportunity, wherever you are posted, whatever job you take up, master that knowledge exceedingly well. And this is the training that IIT should give. The fourth area which I want to emphasize is a commitment to the society. As I mentioned, you are all very fortunate to have this opportunity to give the highest standard of education in the country. And you are getting it so cheap. Many would not have realized how much the government is subsidizing your educational cost. The fee that you pay is so little. At least 20 times that fee the government is investing in you. And the government invests the money means the money of the people, of the society. Where does the government get money from? Government gets money only through taxes and duties from the people. Therefore, you have a duty to pay back to society in your whatever you do. It is this sense of duty which had prompted me, even after retirement, to take assignments after assignments, not expecting any return from these assignments, but taking them as opportunities to serve the country, to serve the nation. I have seen most of the students from IIT, in fact, my own youngest son is from IIT Madras. The temptation is you start looking for opportunities abroad. Please do that. There is nothing wrong in that. But that should be only to acquire more knowledge and experience. But you have a duty to come back to the country and serve our country, our motherland. Our Shastras say, Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. The mother and the mother country are far, far more important than anything else. You have a duty to come back and serve the society. Therefore, whatever job that you get, wherever you are placed, seek for opportunity to do good for the country, to the society. Even a small assignment, there is a way of executing an assignment in a systematic way, according to the rule books of the book. But that alone is not enough. You must see while doing so, am I causing any environmental degradation? Am I causing any inconvenience to the public? If so, that has got to be somehow, this inconvenience should not be allowed. When we started Delhi Metro project, this country did not have any experience or expertise to design, plan and execute a modern metro project. We did not have it. No doubt, there was a metro constructed in Calcutta earlier, but to the country, and particularly to the city of Calcutta, it was not a very pleasant experience at all. Because Calcutta Metro, that 17-kilometer first line of Calcutta, in which I was also involved in the early stages of planning, that took 22 years for completion. and the cost went up by 14 times. And while executing this project, there was such a lot of inconvenience caused to the Calcutta public, and so much of frustration all round. That was a dampener for taking up projects in other cities of the country, although along with Calcutta, Delhi, Bombay and Chennai also set up metropolitan projects, organizations for taking up metros. I mean, the idea of starting metros was immediately stopped until Delhi Metro came and the first phase of Delhi Metro was completed. When we were doing Delhi Metro, our first concern was not to cause any inconvenience to the public. The way the metro was constructed, the way the environment was preserved, the way without causing any inconvenience the whole project was completed. Many people did not know that a tunnel was being bored right under their houses and offices. They did not even know. That is the way it has got to be executed. Concern for the society, concern for the environment. This should be uppermost in your mind whenever you take up. This is what I call a social responsibility. And the most important aspect of the social responsibility is to complete the project on time and to complete the project within the sanctioned cost. This is our first social responsibility, which is actually, I've been able to achieve it in a very, very exemplary way, I would say. The first phase of Delhi Metro, when it was started, the first phase covered 65 kilometers of metro construction, of which 18 kilometers was underground and the rest elevated. And the time given for completing this project was 10 years, as per the detailed project report. 10 years was time given. When I took over the project, I decided that the Delhi public cannot wait for 10 years for a metro system to be commissioned. So on our own, without any directive from the government, without any pressure from the public, we decided on our own that we would complete Delhi Metro Phase 1 in 7 years instead of 10 years. And ladies and gentlemen, we were able to complete the Phase 1 Delhi Metro in 7 years and 3 months. We only exceeded that time by 3 months instead of the 10 years. And most important, the project was completed within the 10,500 crores sanctioned for the project, well within that. The same thing was repeated in the Phase 2 of the project when it was taken up. Phase 2 was a great challenge in Delhi Metro. 140 kilometers of metro had to be constructed, of which 35 kilometers was underground, at a cost of 24,000 crores. And the time the government gave was 7 years for completing that, based on the performance on Phase 1. After the project was started, the country got the opportunity to stage the Commonwealth Games. And the government then said the Phase 2 of the metro should be ready for the Commonwealth Games, which gave us only 4.5 years to complete this 140 kilometers of metro line. I am happy to inform you, the last line, line number 6 of Delhi Metro was completed, commissioned on the very morning when the Commonwealth Games was inaugurated. So precisely we were able to do it. All these are social responsibilities. As an engineer, as a scientist, we have this responsibility to the nation that you should keep in mind all the time. And the other aspect I want to particularly mention to the young students present here is the importance of health. Ladies and gentlemen, engineering is a very demanding profession. I can tell you that. As scientist's life also is a very demanding assignment. Unless you have good health, you will not have the stamina, you will not have the energy, you will not have the enthusiasm to do your work properly. Good health is important. The type of attention you pay to your studies, the same emphasis and attention is required for your health as well. Unless you are healthy, you can't execute your profession. You can't do what is required to be done of you in the perfect manner. Good health habits have got to be started. This is one area I find generally students ignore. They sit up late in the night, waste time in front of TVs, do not have proper exercise, do not bother about the food, timely food. You have to be very, very systematic in life, which is very essential for an engineer. I'm not going into that so deep. All of you are well educated. The importance of good health is known to you. I am only emphasizing this point. And the next item is having good ethics, values, or good character, I would say. There is no point in being a brilliant engineer if you don't have good values in life. These two go together. Our profession demands that we should have the highest standards of ethics and values and principles. Good character, which includes fundamental things like respect for the teachers, respect for the parents, respect for elders, consideration for others, empathy for the colleagues. These good values you should cultivate. Incidentally, even at this age, I wear two hats. One is a hat like the metro man of the country. The other is, I am the founder president of an organization called Foundation for Restoration of National Values. This foundation was formed in 2008 with the basic objective of instilling good values and principles in the children so that the next generation in our country will have very, very responsible citizens. I'm not going into our work in great detail, but I'm emphasizing the necessity of having good character, good conduct. You see, people start worshiping you not merely for what you have created. They worship you for what you are, what qualities you have, what an example you are to the rest of the country. On this basis, they start worshiping you. It is necessary to cultivate good habits, good character. There are certain things in our life on which we have no control at all. For example, you have no control on your complexion, whether you are fair, dark, you have no control over it. You have no control over your facial expression. These are all God-given. You can't change it. But there are two things in life where you have got perfect control. One is your own health, the other is your character. These two things, we have perfect control. It is in this age in which you are in the college today, you start developing good character, good qualities, what I call sattvic qualities. In Sanskrit it is called sattvic qualities. Sattvic is a Sanskrit word for which we don't have a really equivalent in English. The nearest would be righteousness, excellent qualities. Bhagavad-Gita says, Sattva sanjayate jnanam. Very emphasis. If you want knowledge, knowledge means not merely the material knowledge I am talking about. Physics, chemistry, engineering. That knowledge you can easily pick up from the classrooms and laboratories and books and from your teachers. But the knowledge of being who you are, what are your duties in the world, this comes only from sattvic nature. And how do you develop the sattvic nature? Srimad Bhagavatam says, Sattvani eva sevede, Sattvam vivardhanaye. If you want to have good qualities, you must always think of only good things and not ill of others, not envy others, not get angry quickly. Good qualities, it has got to be developed by yourself. And there are excellent examples or ideals, icons, who can be your mentors in these matters. Normally, your teachers themselves should be the mentor in developing good qualities in you. This is very important. And the final thing which I want to mention to you is a divine grace. We are all born on this earth, not out of your option. You never wanted to come and get born here. You have no option choosing your parents. But you have option in choosing your teachers. The education institutions that you want, you have the option. In these many matters, you'll find there are far too many things which are not within your control at all. There is a mighty force deciding many things for you. For example, sitting in this room, you are getting warmth and light. And do you know that this warmth and light is coming from 93 million miles away from the sun? Such a far off distance. This is coming to you to make you comfortable. Sitting in this room, you don't know that you are traveling at a rate of 28.8 kilometers per minute when the earth revolves on its axis. We don't realize that, but we are traveling 28.8 kilometers per minute. We don't realize that we are hurtling through the space at a speed of 855 kilometers per minute in the Earth's orbit. We don't feel it. But there is a force who controls all these things. You must have confidence and faith in this supreme entity, supreme force. That is why I said a divine grace is required. How do you get the divine grace? I am an ardent student of Bhagavad-Gita. You must have heard about Bhagavad-Gita. It is nothing but a conversation between one prince to another prince. Prince Sri Krishna to Prince Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And do you know when the Kurukshetra war took place? It is not a mythology. This war took place exactly 5,158 years back. You may ask me how I arrived at this 5,158 years. It is not me. I have not calculated this figure. This figure was calculated by the biggest mathematician this earth has produced, Aryabhatta. You must have heard about Aryabhatta, the mathematician, who invented zero, who gifted the concept of pi to the world. He calculated that, and incidentally, he lived exactly 499 AD. And according to the researchers, they say he was born in Kodungalur in Kerala, Aryabhatta. He only calculated that this Kurukshetra war took place 3128 BC. From that only I am telling you that the war took place. But what a beautiful conversation that is between Krishna, Lord Krishna, and Arjuna. Dear students, Bhagavad-Gita is not a religious text. According to me, it is an administrative gospel which gives you the guidance, which lays down the rules, how you should live your life, how you should be useful to others, what is right, what is wrong, and what is dharma. Above all, what is dharma? I have no hesitation to confide in you that after my retirement, I took up the Konkan Railway, I took up the Delhi Metro and many other metros. In all these organizations, if anybody joined, the first thing I used to do was get him to my room, talk to him for about half an hour, instill the values, ethics needed for the organization, and then gift him with a copy of Bhagavad-Gita and tell him, please go through this Bhagavad-Gita, try to understand. There are only 700 slokas in that. Understand the slokas well, assimilate the meaning and message involved, and practice it. It makes your life an entirely different thing. Therefore, and when I say a divine grace, you get the divine grace only by doing good things. There is a very famous message given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad-Gita. Nahi kalyanakrit durgadin kachit durgadin tata gachati. If you do good things, you will never come across any adversity in life. What a great message it is. So why can't we do only good things in life? It's very easy to find out what is good, what is bad. What is good for you and what is good for others is always good. And that is the only way to earn the divine grace in your profession. Dear students, this grace is very important. To earn your divine grace, you must earn the grace of your teachers, your professors, the grace of your parents. Before you leave this organization, this institution, see that you get the blessings of your professors and teachers. Before you leave your home for any profession, obtain the blessings of your parents. And these are the main things which will make you really a very successful engineer. I am very happy I had this opportunity to be with you and share with you some of the things which I learned in my own long years of profession. And I must thank the director, Professor Sunil Kumar, and his team for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.